You'll find a bottom of a scrum in football, and I'm sure someone's grabbing a set to piss someone off, plain and simple.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers said that one time. I'm not even shitting you.
That's hilarious. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers are still waiting on this guy. He hasn't made a decision.
It's his only option.
Yeah, like, I don't know what he's waiting for.
Where else is he going to go? Like, that's the thing. The Giants just signed 3 quarterbacks in a matter of like 2 weeks. They re-upped DeVito. Then they got Jameis, and I was like, all right, cool. We'll roll with him, see what happens. If we tank again, go for Manning the next year. They turn around and sign Russ for a $20 million deal. That leaving me like just literally like my head is spinning going, what kind of dumb financial decision are they making for 1 year? And you know what it tells me, Jerm? It tells me that their GM and head coaching job is not safe. And this is their year to make a change. Because if not, they're cleaning house. It is the only logical reason I can think as to why the Giants would make such a dumb decision to sign what could be 2 potentially starting quarterbacks. One of them spending him 20.5 on it, which like what 13 guaranteed. It was. It pissed me off so much.
If I'm a Steelers player, I'm heated.
I don't. If I'm a Steelers player, I don't want him at this point.
I don't want him.
Wants to come and compete. Like no matter how much Aaron Rodgers can help you, and he still has football life in him. We saw a little bit of that last year, but as we have said on this show, the past now 3 seasons. This dates back to his last year with Green Bay. His first year with the Jets, and now his second year with the Jets. We have said he still has football life. He's good, but his off-field personality and antics is what's going to kill a club, plain and simple. And I mean, he did that with basically the coaching staff in New York, then went high and dry, and now he's already starting his bullshit now. So to your point, if I'm on the Steelers, man, I don't want him. Get him out of here.
Bert, the NFL's 32 owners are in Florida, and now they're not on spring break. They're actually working this week. And they worked overtime. They do their annual league meeting, whatever it is. And
to go over rules and stuff.
Yeah, and usually it's much to do about nothing because it's like, hey, let's put ball pits in the end zone. And then it's like, no. And then they go and drink mojitos on the beach. This year, they actually put in some work. Like they said, so I'll just go over the big ones. Overtime changed for the regular season, which me and you kind of said, after they decided to do it just for the postseason, that it was why only allow both player teams to possess the ball just in the postseason. You should just do that all the time because that's you have to coach that, right? Like it's a different mindset. And it's hard to switch that once you get into the playoffs. Yeah. So why would you not do that?
Is like overtime in regular season still matters. Like at the end of the season, when it comes down to it, if you have a tie in your record, that's going to potentially hurt you depending on who it's against. So why not, give them an increased chance to actually define winner and loser. This isn't like a soccer football league thing where you get points if you draw. That's not the case. Like they go off W's and L's in the NFL.
In the postseason, the period's 15 minutes, and both teams are guaranteed a possession, even if the team gets the ball, scores first, gets a touchdown. But now both teams will be guaranteed a possession in overtime, but the OT period will only be 10 minutes long. So I guess before it was basically sudden death. Unless the first team that had the ball had a field goal, and then you could match, and then I'm still of the belief it should just be a timed quarter, just like every what I mean. I think if you want to shorten it and make it 10 minutes, then fine. But they want to talk about safety, but they're adding games to the season. Once you start adding games to the season, that was the only reason I didn't really like push on it. Like, okay, I get it, player safety, concussion, blah 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 blah. But now that you're adding games, and we're definitely heading towards an 18-game season rather than 17, then your player safety or adding more time doesn't really hold water because it's not like there's overtime all the time. There's a few every season. So it's not like it's a weekly occurrence either. You know what I mean? Like and so
I mean, again, teams don't play to get into OT. So, I mean, if there's time on the clock, they're going for that last play that's going to win them the game. This isn't like other leagues where you get the point if you go to overtime. That's not the case. So, I mean, if anything, I see a rushed quarter as an opportunity to injure more players because
Right.
you are doing things no huddle, you're doing things on the fly, things can get miscommunicated. I get it, but your point is they're already adding games. Just make it a regular quarter. To me, it's look, football is always going to be one of the most riskiest games from an injury standpoint. It's just unavoidable. So no matter what you do time wise, the risk is still there.
The next one, Bert, touchbacks will be moving out to the 35-yard line.
Oh my
So
God.
before it was the 30-yard line.
Why not just make it the 50 at this
I
point?
mean, yeah, it's like,
I don't think
I
anybody
guess
had a problem when it was at the 20, right?
it should be at the 20. The
Yeah.
20, it's the 20-yard line on each side is specifically marked, specially marked for a reason.
Yeah.
And listen, I get it, or I don't, not that I get it, but I guess the thought process is that it'll discourage the kicking team from just simply booting out the ball out of the end zone, knowing that the team will get the ball at the 35-yard line. So I guess if it's at the 20, that encourages it. So they're
Yeah.
moving it up to discourage it
Which is wild to me because you're just, I mean, they talked about player safety in the other rule, but hey, you know what we should do? We shouldn't encourage individuals to kick it out and start at the 20. We should encourage to kick it as far as possible and have a guy run it almost 100 yards while everybody else is trying to tackle him. But hey, that's the game. It's fine.
This, Bert, I'm going to use this word seriously, is retarded because
no, not bad word. Bad
get
word.
oh that's still a bad word.
Still a bad word. Can't use it. It's
What's
dumb.
worse? No, it's more than dumb. That's why, you know what I mean. Like
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I hate you PC people. I hate all of you. You know, we can't even describe things. When I call somebody a bitch, I'm not calling them a female dog. You understand? Like
I do, because you call me it all the time. Yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying? It's like right now. Matter of fact.
Yeah. Bert, stop being such a bitch.
God,
I'm trying to go off here. Yeah.
And you know whose fault this is, Bert?
Liberal media.
Liberal media.
There it is.
1000%. So it's really, really, really dumb.
Yeah.
That these teams are getting the ball at the 35 because it means that the team would only need to gain 20, 25 yards just to get into field goal range.
Yeah.
Move the kicker back. How about that? And then and then if they get to the 35 and then stop the stupid where the guys can't run, start the run. If you move the guys back, then the guys can start running again. Yeah. Move the kicker back then. If you're that worried about kickers and touchbacks and things of that nature, then move the kicker back so he really has to boot it. You know what I mean?
Why not instead of a kicker for kickoffs, why not every team bring in a long arm specialist and they throw the ball from the other end zone? It's more accurate. Like, just do it, you know?
Or just stop doing kickoffs then, because that's where we're going. You know what I mean? Mr. Oleg hates that word. Yeah. So does Bert. So I got to stop saying it now. Well, it'll be all right. I'll figure it out. League's internal data says that 65% to 75% return rate if the touchback is moved to the 35, more than double the rate of the 2024 season. So there was also a proposal that said that they would allow onside kicks to be attempted by a losing team at any point in the game instead of just the fourth quarter. That did not pass, or it's been tabled. That's dumb. I do wish they would change the onside kick where you have to announce it. I don't like the having to announce it. I didn't see anything about that. Some flexing rules about Thursday night games. I guess the last couple of years, NFL's been able to flex any Thursday game held between week 13 and 17. But the league had to give 28 days notice. So I guess that's no longer the case.
I don't remember them ever flexing a game Thursday night.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen them do that. So maybe, well, I probably, you know what this is though? They've had a lot of teams in that Thursday slot just be awful matchups, whether that's because the teams have an injury that alters like what because they can only project, right? They can only look at the roster and say this team should be good. They can't foresee if the team's going to be garbage or a player gets hurt, things of that nature. So that maybe this gives them a little breathing room. And plus, with these deals with Amazon, they can't have bad teams every week on Thursday night. Maybe, by that point of the season, they can have some leeway. Like, you know what, these guys are going to play Sunday at 1. How about we just move them to Thursday in a couple of weeks and at least get a good game on there? So we'll see.
Why can't we just do Friday Night Football? Like what?
I'm I'm not a fan of Thursday night football. It's a weird day of the week.
No,
It's
as a
just
fantasy football player, owner,
mm,
'cause I don't play it, but
mm,
I hate my Thursday matchups. It
yeah,
either sets up or ruins your entire
your
lineup the
entire week.
rest of the
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah,
Um, One that I'm really excited about, Bert, NFL modifies its uniform policy. Basically, NFL teams can now wear their throwback or alternate uniforms a total of 4 times this season. Before they were just limited to 3, and it was either or. And then now they'll be allowed to wear alternate pants in the off season, which obviously wasn't, in the old policy. Now, the traditionalist in me loves the color jersey, the white jersey, and some type of alternate, which is usually your secondary color because most
yeah,
teams have a secondary color. Um, and then, but now with ideas like Color Rush or,
yeah.
for lack of a better term, their City Connect jerseys or some type of remix jersey. I prefer, I prefer basic with football, just a white colored and like a secondary,
Man,
whatever
I
that
don't know.
is.
I'm all for options to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm a hockey guy. I
Yeah.
love the fact that most teams carry 3. You have your home away, you have an alternate, right? Some carry
Hmm.
4. Like for special events like Winter Classic, they'll create a new one.
Hmm.
I'm all for that. I mean, the NFL should do that. I mean, they can do it for specialty games. They can do it for Thanksgiving. They can do it for, if they want to do special military ones, they can really get into it. And for me, look, it's a win for the league because it's all merchandising regardless. They already sell
Right.
military jerseys and stuff like that. So why not have them wear them and then, autograph them and donate the proceeds to whatever charity they're supporting and shit like that. I understand where you're coming from. You're a design guy though. Like
Yeah.
this is your thing.
Yeah. And I love
So
it. And if honestly, if the Bills don't bring back the 90s jerseys,
yeah.
I'm going to blow up the new stadium before it opens.
Man, when the
Enough.
Giants brought back their 90s, I went out, I
Oh,
got Michael Strahan
yeah.
one. I love that thing, dude. Like
I want
it
to see Josh Allen run out of the tunnel with the Jim Kelly
Yep.
90s blue jersey, white pant, red helmet. Holy cow. I cannot wait. Joey wants to know how our 9 to 5s are going. Pretty good. Not bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Bert, one I'm really excied about. We won. Replay assist can now help with even more penalties. So they're expanding the help of replay assist. I think you mentioned it earlier with Skyhawk, I think is what they're calling it or some shit like that.
But also using it for first down markings too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Buffalo Bills changing the game once again because they know that they shafted us again. 5 new penalties can now be overturned by the booth: hitting a defensive player, face mask, horse collars, tripping, and roughing running into the kicker. But the replay assist won't call penalties that weren't flagged. So for those who were,
they can overturn penalties that were flagged, but they can't call penalties.
So if you have every year you have that super obvious face mask call.
Yeah.
The replay assist won't be able to be like, hey, that was a face mask because it wasn't. That wasn't.
But see, my issue with that is they won't be able, because there's always a PI call that's missed, sometimes blatant. So I wonder if this will cause more flags and then just have them reversed out of caution, or if we're going to run into the issues where the usual NFL ref is betting on the game and they decide to put their flag away.
I mean, I guess that depends on how, like XFL, for example, did it in real time. So I guess it would just depend on how fast that thing happens. Joey wants to play Smash or Pass. Okay, Smash and Pass Joey's mom. Smash.
I've been blind on that one.
Last one, Bert. NFL owners can't come to a decision on the Tush push. Supposedly there was a big push, no pun intended, to ban it.
And we spoke about this like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we feel it's absolutely ridiculous. Just learn to play it. Like
Packers head coach kind of leading the charge, saying that it's not a football play. I believe there was a proposal that the tush push could only be used in the fourth quarter and only in the red zone, but not on the not inside of the 2-yard line. So that's dangerous. That's dangerous water. You can't legislate when play calls are played, right?
No.
To me, you're either going to ban it or you're not going to ban it.
Yeah.
You can't say you can only use it on this certain times.
The fact to me, this is just like the Yankee bat argument. Every team can do this.
Yeah.
Every single team has the ability to do this.
Mhm.
One team just executes this better than the others. And the immediate response is we need to ban it. It's
Mhm.
absolutely ridiculous. We need to ban it. How about just work on it? Like I
Yeah, get
this
better at
this
it.
is so dumb. Like no,
Mhm.
I'm glad that this proposal was shot down. You said it yourself. It's dangerous territory. Once one play that someone doesn't like gets banned, or you start to like limit it in terms of when it can or cannot be used, then all of them are going to be up for grabs too. Like, like what are we going to start like, oh, only trick plays in the fourth quarter if the team's down by 4 or 3, or like it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
get out of here with that.
yeah.
I
It's
expect
dumb.
that to come from the Packers.
And listen, this thing can still be banned. This isn't like voted no; it was tabled. So I think they meet again late in May, and so they'll vote on the playoff seating. That was another one. I think they're trying to propose that a wild card team could be seated higher than a division winning team, and then the wild card team would end up getting home field
Because of
uh,
record.
because of record. So they're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
reseed based on record if a wild card team has a higher seed. I'm not a fan of that. I
I
just
don't hate it. I
I
don't.
I understand, but I'm not a fan of punishing a team that's in a good division.
But is it just for so I guess what they're saying, so it's not just for home field. So it will affect seeding. So since they're going to be
Yes.
seeded higher, yeah, okay, that's where it loses
Yeah.
me.
So all division winners are still guaranteed a playoff spot,
Yeah, it's just
but they wouldn't be that wouldn't guarantee you a home playoff game based on how the seeding works.
yeah,
So like last year, right? The Vikings were 14-3 and would have been the third seed in the NFC, but they were the fifth seed, so they had to go on the road. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That that affects you, right? They could have won.
Oh,
Yeah. And
100%.
so,
Yeah.
but again, it's not anybody's fault that it's not the Buccaneers' fault that they're in a bad division. So, and I'm not going to punish the Buccaneers and just to reward the Vikings because the Vikings are in a tougher division. That's just not the way it should work. So, and this is in college football, like because now you're getting into now we just reseed the playoffs overall. Fuck it, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Make
we're
it East
reseeded
West and call it a
East
day.
West like all
Yep.
day. Don't then none of it matters. Then don't do division winners. Just seed the entire conference and be done with it. Like so I don't want to open up that can of worms. I don't want to set that type of precedent. Listen, man, very rarely do you get like 3 teams in a division that are winning double digit games and have like you know outstanding teams. Like that doesn't happen that often for me to warrant a
Mhm.
rule change of the playoffs. If anything, we need to be talking about realigning the conferences or the divisions,
Yeah.
like based on geography. That's a discussion we need to really be having instead of playoff seedings. Because that's to me that's a bigger that'll help the NFL a lot more than what they're talking about.